all the little notes on this, like I did when we did the example. So I'm going to do that now. I'm going to talk through all of these with you. And again, guys, while you're marking, please don't overthink if your answer is wrong or right, and just make it cross and then leave it. You are looking for specific mistakes that you've made. All right? The answer is not that important. The mistake that you made in getting to the answer is what's important. Okay. For the first one, remember we circled all the pluses and minuses, but not the ones in brackets, okay, because those don't separate terms. Then we underlined our terms. You don't have to do that every time, but it just makes it a bit clearer, especially if you're starting with these. So we have three terms here, so we have to simplify, we have to work out what those three terms are before we add and subtract them. So negative 2 plus 7 is 5. There we keep our minus. 3 times 4 is 12. We keep that minus. Oh, that's supposed to be a plus. I made a mistake. Sorry. Oh no, I actually didn't. Oh, what I did here was I multiplied them together. Sorry. So that is actually correct. What's a positive times a negative? Negative 15. Okay, sorry about that. So that positive times negative is negative, right? That's why I made that plus into a minus. Now you have your three terms. Now guys, for all of these, I added in that extra step that I said you could add in if you need to, where you are first just doing the first two numbers and then the last one. But you don't have to. So this is like an optional step. Okay, you don't have to show that step. You're not going to get a mark for that step specifically, but it might help some of you to get the answer. Right, so 5 minus 12 is negative 7, and then you minus 8 from it. And again, guys, like I told you on Monday, that minus 8 must come all the way down, right? You can't leave out the minus 8 when you're not working with it, remember? Then negative 7 minus 8 is negative 50. Okay, for the next one, there you have a plus, there you have a minus. That is one term, a negative times a negative is a positive, do we agree? And 2 times 5 is 10. Yeah, you have positive 4 times negative 2. What's that? What's the positive times negative? A negative, right? So, thank you. 4 times 2 is 8. So that's where that minus 8 comes from. Now, guys, it's fine if you wrote it like this. 10 plus negative 8. You did that instead. Okay, you'll see in the following questions I actually added that in. So you don't have to write minus 8 from the start. Okay, you can write it like that, and then you have your minus 7. Right, either one of those would be fine. So if you want to keep that sign that you circle, and then just work that out. Okay, 4 times negative 2 is negative 8. You are allowed to do that. Then you would just have to go to that step where you say what's a positive times a negative, and okay, 10 minus 8 is 2. You still have that minus 7. So 2 minus 7 is negative 5. Okay, number 6. We are circling our pluses and minuses. Circle those that are in brackets. So the first term there is just negative 3. Can't do anything there, so I just rewrote it. Minus, guys, what's negative times a positive? A negative. Do you see where that second minus came from? Right? I mean, 7 times 2 is 14. Okay? That first minus is coming from the actual minus that I circled that was in the question. All right? Then I'm getting my second minus by actually saying that a negative times a positive is a negative. Okay, so that's why there are 2 minuses there. Then you have your plus, which is the sign that you circled. Again, what is it? Positive times a negative? A negative. All right, so the plus is the sign that you circled. You can actually circle them again, just to show that that is where those signs are coming from. The plus is the one that you circled. The minus is coming from this actual answer when you multiply these two together. Positive times a negative is a negative. Now, this is similar to those addition and subtraction questions that you did previously. Okay, now we've sorted out all the multiplication. Now we need to get rid of these brackets. So now we say, what's a negative times a negative? A positive. What's a positive times a negative? A negative. Okay, now we can add and subtract these. So again, I just did the first two numbers. Again, you don't have to do it like that, but if it helps, negative 3 plus 14 is 11. And then minus 12. And then this one isn't too bad to do. 11 minus 12 is negative 1. Again, guys, yes, yes, no, I don't have grade 10 now. No, I don't have that class now. Okay. All right, let's find this one. So guys, it is important here that you keep the sign that you circled in the beginning the same when you're doing your multiplication. Okay, and then you sort out how to get rid of those brackets. Yeah.
I was just wondering, are you allowed to add brackets if it makes sense to you in between the plus and the minus? Like, so
Yes.
on 7, could I bracket 2
The
times
2 times 3. Yes, you can. Yeah. All right, here you see I circled the plus and the minus. Remember, we don't circle the pluses and minuses that are in brackets. Okay, so there we have 3 terms. What's 2 times 3? 6. We write that plus again. 4 times 2, 8. We copy down that minus again. Now we say 7 times negative 2. What's that? Negative 14. Okay. Now we're getting rid of these brackets. Doesn't have brackets there, so you write that. A negative times a negative is that positive. Again, I listed the first two numbers and then the third one, but you don't have to do it like that. But 6 plus 8 is 14, right? Plus 14, so that's 28. Okay, so that's basically how you have to do it every time. Now, I'm not sure if you did it like that for these questions. If you did it and you got your answers wrong, I'm going to give you more of these now to practice. Okay. So that's what we usually do. I give you some homework, we mark so that you can identify your mistakes. Then we practice some more so that you can help fix your mistakes. All right. That's what I try to do it normally. There we have a plus. There we have a minus. Positive divided by negative is a negative. 8 divided by 2 is 4. There we have that same plus. Negative times a positive is a negative, and 6 times 3 is 18. There we have that minus, and then it's just the same. Okay, what's a positive times a negative? Negative. Then I work these two out. Negative 4 minus 18. So you add negative 4, then you go 18 further back. That's negative 22. And then minus 7. Now, if you add negative 22 and you must go 7 further back, subtract another 7, you're going to get to negative 29. Okay, how are we feeling about these? Right? I'm hoping that if you make a mistake, you are now seeing what your mistake was. Okay, so we can fix it. Number 9, I'm again just circling all my signs. There we go. And then for your first term, you have a negative divided by negative is a positive, and 24 divided by 6 is 4. Plus 2 equals term, there's nothing I have to do, it's just a 10. All right, so plus 10. Minus 3 times 2 is 6. And then minus, and then that last term is the 12. Again, there's nothing that I can do there. Okay, then you didn't have to do it like this now. You actually could have gone straight from this line to the answer. I just did the first two numbers and then the last two numbers and then or the first two and then again the first two and then I simplified. But guys, it's fine if you go from there to there. All right? So I said 4 plus 10 is 14, yes? But still minus 6 and minus 12. Then 14 minus 6 is 8, yes? But still minus 12. 8 minus 12 is negative 2. Okay, but you could have done that in less steps. The next one is a little bit different. If we're looking at there we have our first plus and then there we have a minus. The first one now consists of three parts. A 2 and then that will be multiplied by 8 and then that whole thing must be divided by 2. Alright, so that's what I was talking about on, was it Monday, when we did the BODMAS note, where I bracketed division and multiplication together, and I said it's not actually that division must always be done before multiplication. These two go together, you do whichever one is written first. Okay, so in this case, they wrote the times before the division, so you're going to do the times first. All right, so 2 times 8 is 16, and that you must divide by 2. All right, yes. Yes. And also, yeah, let's just start from left the easiest way. Okay, then plus. There's that plus, right? 6 divided by 3 is 2. Minus, there's that minus. 12 times 2 is 24. Okay, there I just did the second part of that. Now, guys, you could have done this all in one line, right? You could have just said in your head, what's 2 times 8? It's 16. 160 divided by 2 is 8. All right, so you could have done that all in one calculation. Plus 2 minus 24. What's 8 plus 2? 10. Then you have to put your minus 24 there again. 10 minus 24 is negative 4. Okay, next one. Now, what's happening here? Are there any pluses and minuses that aren't in brackets? No. Right? So how many terms do I have here? One term. It's a very complicated term, but it's all one term, right? So in this case, what do you have to do first according to BODMAS? Bracket. All right, so in the first part of this term, I'm not going to say the first term because this is not a term, right? The whole thing is one term, but you have to do that first before you start dividing. Okay, so negative 2 minus 7 is negative 9, and then minus 11 is negative 20. Okay, so that is what I did first. Then I said negative 20 divided by negative 2. What's a negative divided by negative? Positive. 20 divided by 2 is 10. Right? So this 10 is from this first division. Okay. Then that 10, I still have to divide by negative 5 again. All right, what is a positive divided by negative? Negative, and 10 divided by 5 is 2. Okay. Number 12, similar story. Are there any pluses or minuses here that are not in brackets? No. So this again is just one term. But because there are brackets, we need to do those brackets before we do the division. Yes.
Then if on say we go one bracket and another bracket beside another one. Those brackets.
Yeah.
Into the other one.
Okay, we can look at an example. I think there are maybe some questions on that worksheet. Okay, guys, so the first bracket was just the same as this one here. Okay, negative 2 minus 7 is negative 9, minus 11 is negative 20. So this bracket is equal to that. And now before I can divide, I have to calculate this bracket. What's a negative times a negative? Positive, and 2 times 5 is 10. So this bracket here is that bracket there. We just have to put that 10 in brackets. Actually, I'm not sure why I did that. We could have just written 10. Now we must just divide, right? Negative divided by positive is a negative, and 20 divided by 10 is 2. Okay. Let's quickly look at one of those where you have lots of different brackets. Yeah, I'm looking at the slide, but I might. Okay, I'm just going to do, I'm going to skip ahead and I'm going to do 29. So you can just write that there, just from the same worksheet. So let's see. Okay, now guys, for number 29, you don't have to look at the worksheet. I'm going to write it down, but they are using like a curvy bracket like that, which you might not be able to draw perfectly. It's fine, don't worry. Just make like a bracket that does that kind of point in the middle there. And then inside they have a 3 plus 2, and then there's a square bracket, 2 minus 5, and then minus 3, and then a round bracket, 4 plus 5. And then they are closing those curly brackets again. Now guys, you think, do they actually need those curly brackets? Is there anything outside of those brackets that's happening? No, it's the same as if, say I wanted to write, let me put it here. If I wanted to write 2 plus 5, that's the only thing in the question, but now I put brackets around. Do I need to put brackets there? No, hey. So in this case, actually, they didn't need those outer brackets because there's nothing on the outside. I'm not trying to just hold them by something. I'm not adding anything. All right, so we can actually rewrite that without those brackets. Yes? Yeah, but only later. We don't need it now. So guys, what I'm going to do now, it's almost like an optional step, but let's just do it all together. I'm going to rewrite this and I'm going to leave out those curly brackets. Okay, because we didn't actually need them. Oh, yeah. There's not a dust coming in. All right. Can you maybe switch on the fan? Is there someone told us to press the button? All right, thank you. Thanks so much. Okay, guys, let's now give it some time. Okay, now this looks a bit more familiar, okay? Let's circle our pluses and minuses that are not in brackets. There's one there. There's one there. Okay, are we fine with that step? Or just circle, okay? What is 3 then? Must I do anything there with that first term? We'll just rewrite it, okay? Plus, now guys, in this case, we did mention it on Monday, it's a number just in front of the bracket. What does that say? Multiply. Okay, so I'm supposed to multiply this 2 by whatever is inside the bracket. But I'm supposed to work that out. Yes, brackets there. And the first thing I'm supposed to do. So I'm going to leave this 2 here. What is 2 minus 5? Negative 3. So guys, that's so long. All right, 2 minus 5, negative 3. Now guys, they used square brackets in the question, but again, we can actually use any bracket, right? It doesn't have to be square brackets. I think they just want you guys to get used to different types of brackets. Okay, so you can use round brackets if you want. Yeah, minus 3. In the bracket, what's 4 plus 5? 5 equals, we still have those separate terms, right? You can still circle the same plus and minus if you want. Plus and minus. We haven't actually fully calculated the values of those terms. Okay, so 3 plus, now what is a positive times a negative? Negative. So now because it's a minus, we're putting a bracket there, okay? What's 2 times 3? 6. Minus, what is 3 times 9? 27. Okay, next up, 3. What is a positive times negative? Negative, and then it's a 6, and then minus 27. Okay, let's do the first two numbers. What's 3 minus 6? 3 minus 6, negative 3, hey? Negative 3, but we must still subtract 27 from that. Now, when we think that, if we add negative 3, we're going 27 back. Right? Negative 30, good. Negative 30. There we go. Okay. I would like you guys now, on the same worksheet, you've done 4 to 12. I would like you to do 13 to 25. I actually don't want to do it in there. I'll put the actual worksheet on the board from the classroom. Just write down 50 all make it. Okay, 30 to 25. I'm going to put that first. Yeah. All right, guys, if you finish with 25, you can correct. And if you finish with 50, then you can do something else. You can read or whatever. All right? You want to go over please? Yeah. I'm just going to put this on the board for you quickly. Okay, guys, it is on the board. Let's see if I can move it down slightly. Yeah. There you go, 13 to 25. Hey guys, you all know what to do? 13 to 25, bring that now, please. Yes? No, not there. All right, 13 to 25. Guys, I'm getting a couple of questions on if you have 2 of your shapes, not all of them, whichever shapes are late, you lose a mark per day. So if you have, for example, your icosahedron and your dodecahedron here, but you don't have your special shape, I'm not going to take off marks for the 2 that you're handing in, but the special shape, if you hand it in tomorrow, you're going to lose 1 mark. All right, if you hand it in 2 days, you're going to lose 2 marks. Okay, that's how it works. So we take off marks on specific shapes. But if your shapes are so late that there aren't marks left for me to deduct, then we deduct from the total. All right, so for example, the cube is only worth 3 marks. So if it's 3 days late, it's supposed to be getting 0, right? But I'm still going to look at it. I'm still going to mark it. Right, I'm going to come around now to come get your shapes.